we only have a few tenets of how to build the business, so they're pretty obvious. And we do monthly reporting internally, so we know where we're at. And if we're not getting the result, then we got to question it, and we got to do it, because that's where, like, if you have standards and you let your standards slip, you haven't actually got standards. And you got to have standards, and you got to be focused on those standards. And you got to say, well, they're look. Another example. I had this Chris Price guy working for me as the sales manager, and we never got on, but he was a good operator, and he's actually back working for me. But we're doing the express data deal, and before we pushed the deal ahead, I got him and Mary to come into the office, and I said, look, I want 2.5%. I want the 5 million sales bed, and I want at least 10 turns on the inventory. And if you guys can guarantee me we're going to get that, then let's push this deal ahead. And they said, yeah. Oh, and the other thing I wanted for this particular deal was I wanted 30 million of profit in the first year. And they said, yeah, we can do it. We're going to do it. So anyway, we get in there, we buy it, and Price spends a lot of time over at Alexandria sort of doing the integration and all the other stuff. Anyway, I'm at home in Cronulla one Sunday night, and he rings me up and says, oh, we got to have a talk tomorrow. I said, yeah, okay. So he comes in and he pushes over this inch thick of paper and says, well, we can't get 30 million, but we can get 25. And I just said, no, that's no good. We can't do that. So he pulls out a letter from his briefcase and resigns. So he resigns on the spot. So I pulled in Vlad, who'd been working for me for 4 or 5 years, and I think I'd spoken to him 3 times or something. And I offered him the job, and he took it over, and he got the result. You got to have standards. You got to have standards, and you got to adhere to those standards, or you're going to get punished.